Welcome. Welcome to Inside Raider Nation, live from Sharksburger. Sonny's put along with head coach of the Rouse Raiders, 4-0, Coach Mann.
4-0, yeah. That's exciting to be 4-0 and up there in the race for the district title right now, and pretty much not 100% locked in playoffs, but really close, right on the edge of it.
Really close. We're gonna plan on it, but that's just us. Not a lot left up to us to get things sorted out. But Coach, going to talk a little bit about last week's game. Going to talk about the upcoming game against Eastview, which us as media have had that circled for a while because the game last year and knowing that they're returning a lot of players. And you look at their scores, similar to what you guys are putting up point-wise. We'll get into all that a little bit later, and then we have our weekly picks. And, again, I just want to say 500 is a good place to be, sitting at 500. And I know Coach Mann puts about as much thought into those picks as I do because we're in third and fourth place. But that's okay. He's sitting at the top of the district, and that's what's the most important.
Amen.
Well, before we get any farther, we want to thank all the sponsors bringing you Inside Raider Nation as well as Rouse Raider football this 2021 season. I want to thank the Crossover, Smile Doctors, Rudy's Country Store and Barbecue, Chaparral Ice Center, also Jamie Armstrong of eXp Realty, Texas Medicare Advisors, and Covert Cadillac.
Texas Regional Bank, Lacombe Chiropractic and Massage Center, Yard Bash, Rock Springs, One Touch Point, Trinity Pools, of course, here tonight at Sharksburger, The Grove, and our newest additional new sponsor that we can officially start to announce now, AutoNation Chevrolet. It just came in and really jumped on board just here this past week, and we're really excited to have AutoNation Chevrolet sponsoring Rouse Raider football.
Everybody's jumping on that bandwagon. Of course, we've been here. We're tooting right along. This train keeps going down the track. And, Coach, you look at last week's game, 63 points, and you give up 16. And there's going to be some things I guess you would say, that could be corrected in that victory. The snap over the head of the punter. Logan actually got to come on and punt a couple of times. So that was something that now is on tape, right? And you always look at those things that are on tape, and you always go, okay, is this something the opponent can see and break us down? I mean, That's always the mentality, right?
Yeah, we haven't punted well all year. That's no secret. We're still struggling to get that off. Fortunately, we haven't had to use punt very often. So it's still, I would say we're still early season form when it comes to that. But, this time of year, you've got to have those things cleaned up. And Yates is very capable of doing it. Protection-wise, I feel solid. We've had pretty good snaps when we had it in the course. Unfortunately, Ty just got a little excited, snapped it over his head late. And the hardest part in a game like that, when you're up 63, and I mean, I think we ran 49 plays on the night. I think we only had like 21 or something like that in the first half with 42 points. I mean, not a lot of reps, to be honest, and that's not a bad thing. But at the same time, we weren't working a lot of stuff either. Some complexity set in, some lackadaisicalness set in. You got to fight that when you're in those games. You want to look clean, polished, and all the way through. We gave up the short punt, gave them a short field, had miscommunication in the back end that allowed one touchdown. And then one came late, and that's going to happen in some of those games. You're trying to get more people experience, and you're vanillaing down your calls on defense and not doing some things. But overall, I was really pleased with the night. We executed. We came out like we needed to against a team like that and got them up early, and then, we were really working things. I'm more in a game like that keeping play count versus what time in the game we're on.
Right.
If we would have ran 50 plays in the first half, starters would have been done in the third quarter, but we had only ran a handful of plays up to 20, so they still need to get reps to keep us going because, as we know, the next 3 weeks get a little different.
It's going to be a little bit different, and this is kind of what I think you as coaches enjoy is this point where it's going to be a good game, and it's going to be those, and not that these other games haven't been good, but from the sense of it's going to be the expected, I guess, to have that tough go around where any one play could define the entire game. It could be a special teams play, could be that turnover on defense. There's a lot of things, and a lot of things happen in the game with Cedar Creek that were on the positive side for some of the guys. And instead of talking about it, Coach, we're just going to watch all these highlights. So Cody, if you can cue that up, and we'll start looking at some of these highlights from the game. And the first one, got to give it to Will Hold. Got to start off
you
with
start
that.
with defense. All right, good. Yeah, real excited here for Will. He's been battling in and out throughout the season, starting stuff. Great job by Coach Alexander. We called that. We were trapping that coverage there on that. Expected that throw. And then you got to give credit to Will, reading the play, adjusting to it, breaking down onto the route, and then securing it. And we're like, oh, my gosh, he's gone. He's the key to the house. So super excited for Will. Will's one of the harder worker guys in the program. Year out, battled through some injuries this spring, and that we're getting him back and flowing. I was really excited about.
And we've got offensive play. We got lots of highlights from this.
This is the one up top to Jalen. Really proud of him. He's getting grabbed on real hard right there, before the catch, and was able to secure the catch, bring it down. Good ball by Mason right on time. So we were fortunate there and came away with a big play.
Just dropped it right in there. And then, of course, we got to watch this defense do what they've been doing.
This is later in the game. You see guys like Anthony Hornsby, there's Avery Manette, closing down, Kyle Tisdale, Garrett Driggers, guys like that on the field. And, Avery getting in there, getting a sack, adding to our total. Great job of not getting cut. Anthony in position to make a play. I was really proud. That second group came on, midway through the third, starting the fourth, and really didn't give up hardly anything. So that was real promising for us. A lot of JV guys got to play, and I was excited that since they didn't get to play the night before.
Yeah. Well,
I think I could have scored on that one. He literally almost walked in. That was a great run by Cannon, though. Literally, good job by the O-line. Ty Rubisky came on, and had to start this game for Zach Allen. Nailed it through, and Justin just hits the hole so fast and accelerates through and punches it in. He's, Justin right now has got 485 yards on the season, 4 touchdowns. So really, really happy off to the start he's on.
And then, again, another good defensive play.
Yeah, Will and Caden Heitzman really collision on the play. Job getting out, avoiding the block by the corner. It's starting to really grow. And you can see some of those things that you want to see out of players in this game looking fast. Job by Mason getting that out. We had a little pressure on that. Was able to get it out to Troy almost too easy there.
And that's the thing that you kind of see more and more is him hanging in that pocket. What a good quarterback's going to do is, not panic and short arm it. He's staying in the pocket, completing that throw and getting it downfield. And when you got Jalen and Troy on the other end of it,
pretty nice combination.
It's not bad. Again, another good defensive play here by the front three.
Yeah, good timing off the front. Jace got good penetration, and Zach Ben there to help clean it up.
A nice spin move there by Big Ben.
He's almost athletic right there.
A little bit.
As he's looking over my shoulder.
It's just.
That's almost not fair. That's a great job by Jalen. I mean, kind of, coming off the backside. Great job by Mason to get his hips flipped around to be able to get that throw out after, faking it to the right and just running away. That's something I've been really impressed with the way Jalen and Troy ran this year. They're just running away from people. I mean, now for Jalen now on the year, that's 39 catches for 770 yards and 12 touchdowns.
12 touchdowns. Yeah. Wow.
TJ's at 38 receptions, so they're just one off each other. 756 and 12 touchdowns through the air. So it's
the way you planned it, right?
Scary, exactly. Another big sack. We really upped our sack total in this game. I was really proud of that. The effort intensity we got off the D-line. Was excited about that. Here's another spin move by Troy. He almost spun before the ball got there. I was a little nervous. I think he's leaving a little early. But, again, great job by him right there. I mean, 6 wasn't in a bad position on that. It's just a better offensive play.
Yeah. So, Coach, hold it right there, Cody. One of the things that we talked about, and I don't know if you guys charted it or not, I'm sure you probably do, is yards after the catch with all your receivers. And looking at Jalen's last run, that was 30 yards after.
Line, when you're throwing out to the numbers, especially if you're on the opposite hash, that's almost a 50-yard throw just going side to side. They think they're short, but in theory, with the width of the field, you're stretching it a lot. Yeah. So it's a combination of all 3 of those factors that our kids are doing a great job with.
All right, we'll watch this defensive play. So we keep rolling here.
Great job with Zach using his hands not to get cut. Jason O'Reilly coming and help Zach clean up on that sack. Really good job there playing with his hands. That's something, you can see that Zach's starting to get the games coming to him a lot more. Where, a younger version would have ran up there and got cut, and they got up. Where he's using his hands and bouncing around and doing things.
This one was late in the game.
Yeah, it was about the middle third coming out of it. We were trying to, again, get our reps up, but, again, we were moving fast and furious.
I think watching enough Rouse offense, that I think I called that play. Told David I think it's coming to Jalen post route, and of course I guess Mason heard me and threw it right there. But again,
I think this is Ben's play. Yeah, great hands, separate, rip through, come back in.
That's his favorite move, isn't it?
Yeah,
spin move. He likes that little twist, that little spin.
Come back around. Real good hustle by O'Reilly, not O'Reilly, Castaneda on that play, getting there on that.
This one in the red zone. And
yeah, that was the other version of the play we saw earlier. Yeah, just the backup version of it.
This one again, just time in the pocket, and then
Troy, just being Troy there, but great job of not throwing. I mean, really the safety did a good job of playing it, and Mason lays that up. He might have a chance to run it. Instead, he made the adjustment, painted him with the ball in the shot, so that gave Troy the chance to make that play.
And this one here is just,
yeah. Good job of blocking on the edge with Ben and those guys. We sealed it, and we were trying to just get a drive starter. Let's get some. We'd kind of been flat the 2 drives before that, and we were looking just to get some type of drive starter, and then drive started and finished with that play. Good job by EJ getting back in there, physically getting the blocks, and then I don't know how many guys are going to catch him in that situation. So
yeah, he just took off. Again, we saw that a lot. I guess last year, the jet sweep, and kind of gone away from that. And I know it's one of those things that, you kind of keep that in your repertoire in the playbook with Coach Pleasant. But, talk about some of the stats. You talked about how equal, the receivers are. They got 12 touchdowns, Troy and Jalen apiece.
Yeah, they're leading the district. It's not even close. And then probably third in district's Corey. He kind of gets those sleepy, sneaky numbers, but Corey right now has 21 receptions on the year for 413 yards. We've thrown for 2,252 yards 2,252 yards for 31 touchdowns this year on the air, which is not bad through 6 games. And then from rushing standpoint, talked about Cannon, 485 yards, 4 touchdowns. EJ, just in this short amount of time, has already racked up 220.
Wow.
So he's back in the mix, and as a team with Calvin and Marcus, getting in the mix and trying to get Marcus back healthy now. We're over 1,230, I can't talk math today. 1,237 yards for 13 touchdowns. So 44 touchdowns on the year on that side of the ball. Mason's already thrown for 2,244 yards. I think he's accounted for 34 touchdowns already this year, but I think matches last year's total already.
I think he was at 39 last year.
39. So we're right on that path. Tackle-wise, on the season right now, we got 3 guys in the 40s. There's a bunch of guys in 20s, 30. I'd have to bring a whole list out to get all those guys on, which is exciting. But, Ben and DeLeon are tied at 49 tackles right now in the year. Jace is sitting there at 41, and then Zach Lacombe at 56.
Wow.
And really making a lot of plays all over the field. So those guys are kind of leading us on the defensive side. Filling in those spots, doing a great job.
And what's scary, Coach, is you still have 3 games left to play. 3 games guaranteed left to play before, you get to that next part of the season, right, which is postseason. And, it's not about these records. It's something that us as media try to use through the broadcast and try to bring, insight. But one of the records that we will talk about was Mason Johnson's 9 of 9 on PATs. He did get the mulligan, and I don't know what happened, but I'm sure
inverted whistle. There was an inverted whistle on the play, so you have to replay the down on an inverted whistle.
So it is a mulligan, and so he did get the chance, but he got it through the uprights. And so as you know, records are made to be broken.
Yeah.
And it was so good to see him do that. But it was a culmination because there's 3 components to that besides Mason, and he was the first one to tell us when he came on. Alex Szanski, Nick Hudson, the snap, the hold is just as important. But it's the blocking up front.
Absolutely. It's not an easy deal to sit in there and be on the PAT team. Those guys are just charging at you. You're stepping down. You can't run your feet because if you move your back foot, you create a gap for somebody else to run through. The wings, I did that in college. I was a wing on some PATs. Zach and Anthony do a tremendous job. I'm constantly on their tails all week in practice. And it's not fair because they got Jacob and those guys coming across them. So, they're getting yelled at every day in practice. Like, no, quit moving your back foot. Come on, get still. And But that's a hard job because you got one guy sprinting inside you and one coming off the edge. And in theory, if you have a great snap, hold, kick, in theory they shouldn't be able to block it.
Right.
No matter unless they get the most perfect jump. If the snap is a great snap, hold. That's why you don't see many kick blocked in the NFL. But high school, that doesn't happen as often. So kudos to all those guys. And if you watch the end zone of Mason kicking that, nobody else understands what's going on. He knows he's got the record. He's sprinting off the field, just high-fiving people. So those are the little fun things that happen, and it was exciting that Mason got that opportunity.
And, and I think at the end of the day, Coach, all these records, they're made to be broken, and those are great. But I think at the end of the day, they'd trade them all in to keep the run going and to make it farther than last year and to get to Jerry's World, all those goals and all those expectations, standards that you guys have set. I think they would trade all those records in for that.
Oh, yeah. I told Coach Elrod, just don't even look at the offensive record board right now because it just resets every week.
Yeah.
I mean, Mason's already shattered through. Mason and Troy are already shattering through. We're getting closing on some rushing records that I was kind of like, didn't know if those would be in reach. I don't know. It's going to be – those are going to be close. Zach's on pace actually right now, and, to get into that tackle conversation on some records on the tackle side. So there's a lot of exciting things there. Coach Elrod loves getting into that, and it's part we have to because you got to put it up in Max Preps. That's where people look for stats, colleges, different things that go off of that stuff. So we want to be able to provide that information.
Yeah, and we look at that as well because we're trying to figure out how many yards in the first half passing was the record, and then overall touchdowns in a game, which we have all that. It just wasn't at our fingertips, which I'm not sure why, but blame that on Cody. Cody, executive producer, didn't have that ready for us. My spotter and my statistician didn't have that for me during the broadcast. We'll blame it on them. Right, Cody? Cody's like, yeah.
Yeah, whatever.
Whatever. Well, we're up against our first break. We come back, we will talk to one of the Rouse Raider coaches.
Yeah, Coach Ramirez is here tonight, our running back coach, and we have E.J. Moore in the house tonight.
E.J. Moore, Boomer Sooner. Yes, sir. And there is no penalty for that, E.J. No 15-yard penalty, so you're good. Appreciate that. But we'll take a break. We come back. We'll have more Inside Raider Nation live from Sharksburger right after this.
Rudy's Country Store and Barbecue. Our pits are 100% wood-fired with oak, a slower-burning wood than mesquite used by others. Along with thyme and oak, we cook with a dry spice that ensures each plate of Rudy's Barbecue is perfectly ready for you. Apply some of our famous sauce, and dinner is served.
The Crossover's vision is to give kids and adults a chance to find out what they're passionate about and to motivate them to work hard to achieve great things. We want to bring families together in one destination where they can enjoy their time together no matter what dreams they are chasing. From here, you can go anywhere. The Crossover is Cedar Park's premier sports, wellness, and entertainment destination and is a proud supporter of Rouse Raiders football. Visit crossovertx.com to learn more and go Raiders. Welcome back to Inside Raider Nation. Sonny Zappel along with Coach Ramirez, the running backs coach. Boy, you have a tough job, Coach.
Yeah, I've got what some people might consider a good problem.
That is a good problem to have. You have senior E.J. Moore, despite him being a Sooner fan. He's a pretty good guy, right? He's pretty good.
Yeah, E.J.'s really good. He was healthier last year and was able to get a lot of good yards for us, played in a lot of big games for us. Really showed his toughness. and now we're getting them back after coming back from an injury.
I think it's going to
And got to find a way to get it to all those guys that want it.
That's the tough part of it, right, Coach? Everybody, all the coaches in the stands can give my kid the ball. My kid the ball. There's only one ball, and you can only throw it. Only one person can throw it. One person can catch it. One person can run it. But talk a little bit about. I know, and this is something that you guys have worked on. This is year 2 for you at Rouse. Your running backs out of the backfield catching the ball is an added dimension. I think that a lot of people overlook. Would you agree?
Yeah, I think a lot of people were expecting us to be able to just run between the tackles like we showed last year. We've been doing a pretty good job of getting the ball out on the boundary, swings and fast flats and things like that. Just getting the ball to, again, our playmakers in multiple ways makes the defense have to defend us, sideline to sideline for 100 yards.
And and it's going to be the broadcaster jinx, putting the ball on the floor, putting the ball on the ground. Your running backs haven't done that a whole lot this year, and even last year. That's again one of those things, right? Securing the football, and then also getting forward and leaning forward at the end. That's something that you got to teach. Is that I know sometimes is kind of instinct, but a lot of it's you have to teach them.
Yeah, we start off. We have the freshmen this year. They've started off learning our ball security drill. We do the same drill. Start off every practice. It's become where I expect them to already have the drill started. They know what's going on. I think that has helped us a lot in making sure that the ball stays in our hands and not in the defense's hands.
Absolutely. And some of your guys as well, important that they're on special teams running down. I know Calvin, before he got hurt, on special teams, Marcus on special teams as well. Are we going to see EJ on special teams?
Starts on punt. Starts on punt.
Yeah?
Yeah. The thing about the running backs is they're not really selfish. I've got a really great running back room. I tell everybody all the time, come down to the running backs room. You're going to find a family environment, brotherhood environment. They give each other a hard time just like brothers do, but they love on each other just as much. It's a great room to be in all the time. A lot of laughs. And when we got to get serious and get down to business, we get serious and get down to business.
Yeah, and it's now that time in the season, right? You got 3 games left, trying to secure this week's win, first of all, against Eastview. And then you can worry about the next 2 after that, right, Coach? That's always the mentality. So you've been at Rouse now. This is year 2. What would you say, and I know last year was a little bit different, but what would you say if somebody said, what is Rouse Raider football? Can you describe it in 1 or 2 words?
I can describe it the same way when I first got hired here. The first email I sent back to Coach Mann was #OneRouse. And, I mean, it's not just a slogan. It's not just a hashtag. It's what we believe there. And you can see it from day one. I've told everybody, my wife works in a different district, and I brag to her all the time that my school, my district is better than hers. It's a great place to be at, and I'm just glad I'm here.
Well, we are glad to have you, and that's for sure. Coach is doing a fantastic job. Just keep them running north and south, right? North and south. That's
north and south, across the goal line, score, score, score.
Score, score, score. Keep running. All right, so now the tough questions come, okay? Coach Mann's a really nice guy. You would agree, right?
Yes.
Yes, that's a good thing because he's the boss and he's standing over there. He was so generous, he gives you a check for $1 million. What's the first thing you buy?
Check for $1 million, first thing I'm going to buy.
Well, let's say he gives you cash because, you never know about a check.
Well, we kind of joke about it. There's been a kind of a running joke in the coach's office, but I'm probably going to go out and give you a nice big barbecue smoker.
Okay.
Yep, on a trailer. I like doing it. Coach Mann likes doing it. Been razzed a little bit this year because I haven't brought any of my barbecue up very often. So,
well, don't feel bad. As Coach Mann hasn't in a while either, and I've been waiting on the rack of ribs. It could be a contest, so we could do that. How about that? At the end of the season, we'll have a contest. You and Coach Mann, rack of ribs, and I'll be the judge.
There you go.
I'll be the judge. I'll sacrifice, and I'll be the judge. All right. So, what's your favorite flavor of ice cream?
I've kind of watched the show a little bit. I was thinking about this question all day, actually. But I think my favorite flavor of ice cream is the Bluebell Texas